going on, everybody? I hope everyone's having a blessed, beautiful day today. I hope that you are doing well and prospering. And we're going to do something different on this video than what we normally do on this channel. Normally it's video games and I'm just playing around. Today we're going to have a discussion. We're going to talk about a anime that I watched that really stuck with me, and I love it. I think it's mainly because it's superheroes. I don't know. Maybe it's just because I saw myself in some of these characters, their development, the way they grew. And as from the title, you know that I'm talking about My Hero Academia. Class 1A, we're gonna tier list them, and it's going to be hard for me because each one of these students I like and want them. I just want the best for them. Like if they were real people, I would want to hug them and tell them that they are awesome and they are just precious. You know, like I just as an adult watching this, looking down, not looking down, but like seeing kids act like this, you only hope that your kid is this way in real life. Or you can, like, if you're their age, like if you're in high school, you only hope to strive to be like them. Because one that I've noticed is they're all like top tier athletes. It's crazy. I was watching it and like they're if they were not in the tier list of superheroes, they would be top athletes, all of them. They may not act like it, but like the homies are shred on here. Like they're like breathing and their six packs are showing. Like they've got like 5% body fat. They've got to be, including the women. I don't care. They're of course superheroes at this level need to be top tier athletes because of what they're doing. But still, like if this was normal, they would be like football players and like baseball players and basketball players and stuff like that. They are some pretty in shape people, and that was one of the things as a fatty. I was like, dang, dude, I'm so glad I'm not part of that class because I would be like the fat lazy schlub in the corner just watching all of these people just be like, yeah, I just feel like I haven't done enough. And it's like, bro, you have 5% body fat. You woke up at 5 o'clock, ran 2 miles, and did 1,000 sit-ups. Shut the hell up. Like you're doing good. You're doing good for, I don't know how old they are. They're what? How old are you when you go into high school? Like 15, 16? You're doing fantastic at 15 and 16. Like, dude, let's pump the brakes. But these are like elite kids, as they as they should be, because they're class 1A. And I think we're just gonna go ahead and get into it. I suck at these names. I'm not an expert. Some of these kids that I watched, they didn't really. Of course, they called out Midoriya, and of course Midoriya called out Bakugo. Bias, he's my favorite. I wonder what level he's going to end up at. I don't know. Um, the three. I'm just gonna let you know the three that I have like honed towards is Bakugo, Shoto, and Midoriya. I have one problem with Midoriya, but as you can see on the list, he's not the very front. He's close to the front, but we've got to work through the list, right? So I'll get to my one complaint with him when we get to him, but it's a very minor complaint. So we're going to hop right into it. We're going to talk about class seat 7, apparently, according to the Wikipedia. Seat 7, and it's Denkai. Dinkai. I don't know how to pronounce his name correctly. It's the Electricity Boy. I'm gonna put him at B tier because of the reason I do that. The reason why I set him there, and I'm going to be honest with you. It hurts me to say this, but some of these characters don't really have an art or like an arch, a story to like they kind of like they show up in episode season 1 being the same as the same person in season 7. Like they don't grow. Yeah, they get stronger, but that's expected. That's what your job is in class 1A. You're supposed to get strong, figure out how to use your powers, and become a hero. He to me reminds me like not really necessarily the class clown. Cause like if we're being honest, class 1A is like the 10%, right? The top what is it? 20 top 20 in the class. So you're talking about the top 20 in the 2000, we'll say 15, because this year's the end of the season, or season 8 comes out, that's the end of it. So he's going to be one of the 20 top students performing. So he's not dumb, but like he doesn't grow at all, and it's kind of upsetting if I'm going to be honest with you, because like he's definitely a class clown, and yes, he cares about all of his fellow students, but like he's a support character. Like we don't really see him ever take charge, and like we see him take charge, and then eventually he runs out of steam, and someone has to pick up his mess and push it all the way forward to finish the mission. Like he gets it going, he has the idea, he gets it, we'll say 75% there. And then someone else has to either pick him up and keep going with him, or finish and adapt to win. And that's one of the reasons why I put him in B tier. He's not awful, but he doesn't really grow. You know what I'm saying? All right. Class A1, seat 13, Zero. Mr. Tape Man is what I call him. Elbow Tape Man. Same. I'm going to put him at C. And it hurts me to say that. But he is one of the, I'm going to say, he is one of, if Dinkai had screen time, we'll say 50% of the time, like we see him out of the episodes that we've seen him, he's in it at least 50%, and he's being a support character and stuff like that. We see Suro even less than that, to me. Like he is, like when they're doing the missions, training missions at the school, he is like, you have, of course, Midoriya, and you have Bakugo, and you have Shoto, their little teams, and then you might have 2 other teams, and then the very last one where they barely talk about, he's on that team somehow. Somehow he's always on that team, it seems like. So he's barely, like, he's always in the background and never gets, other than like, yeah, you can do it, we believe in you. He's never being like in the foreground, showing that he can be a superhero, and like we never really see that he learns anything. We never see like him, we never see him in the spotlight. He's always, if he's not secondary, he's like third in the spotlight. You know what I'm saying? Like he is, if you want to talk about one person in the spotlight and then there's people around them being in the spotlight and they get a little bit of shine, he's just barely in the shine, which sucks because I like his hero. I like him being a hero, like the tape and stuff like that. Like you can just be like, shoot your elbows out and you're shooting web. Basically, you're Spider-Man. Like, dude, come on. But not everyone, I guess, can have screen time, I guess, and that's kind of sucks. All right, on to C8, Kirishima. Your boy is always he needs to he is one of the ones that when I was talking about being ripped and everything, he is one of them. But he's also got to have like he needs some like masculinity lessons and like learn how to be confident in his own masculinity, because he's always being like he's so manly to like Midoriya, Bakugo, Shoto, Ida, all of them. And it's just one of those things where it's like, bro, dude, your superpower is pretty damn dope. Let's calm down. And you're training and you've gotten actually tougher, and you're pretty manly as it is. So let's pump the brakes, and you know what you need to do. And I'm gonna put him at B. Same way with Denka, because he is, it's them three, or it's them two and um Miro, or the kid with the balls, that's like he's got to be 2.5 feet tall. Those three are the class clowns, and I'm gonna stick him at B, because he you do see him grow and being in the background, and they have like a little story arc with him when he goes and does his apprenticeship with the kid that's he's like Rock, the steel kid from class 1B, and they go do an internship with some the I can't remember what his name is, but they go do an internship with him, and they learn a lot from him. So you got to see a little bit of an arc of like him growing and learning how to like toughen himself up, and being able to like just do what he needs to do to get it going. And then on top of that, like you actually see him fall for Acido, and how he deeply cares about her and wants the best for her, and like that's kind of cute. That's kind of sweet. I like it. I dig it. It gives him more of a depth of a character that you can, like, if you like Acido, you like Kirishima, and because you know that he's got her back, just like he has all the backs of everybody else, but he deeply cares about her. So that's one of the reasons why I put him at B, is like he does have a little bit of an arc, and he has grown a lot. He's part of the class clown stuff, and the whole like he's so manly, like hearing him say that constantly got kind of like I get it, dude, and that kind of ruined it for me. So that's why I put him at B. But he's still a pretty cool character. All right, Class C14, Tokomiya. I just call him Bird Guy. I'm gonna put him at A tier, and the reason why I put him there, and actually, I'm sorry, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna move him over, because he is so close to A. It's not even funny. I might, if you want me to, I can make another video where I do like A plus, A minus, like all that stuff, and just keep S at S. Cause like he is so close to A tier. It's not even funny. Tokomi, him and Dark Shadow, I like. I do like the fact that he has gained control over Dark Shadow, and actually is able to use Dark Shadow to fly. Like after he met Hawk, and Hawk was like, "Bro, you're a bird." That's exactly how I feel. Like when he said that, my voice cracked. Just, bro, you're a bird. Like, why are you not flying? It's one superpower you actually can have that no one else does. Is fly. I mean, a lot of people can fly, but anyways, Dark Shadow can help you fly. And like the fact that he can like coat Dark Shadow over him and use him with fists. And we're going to put him at A tier because he's pretty badass, because him going up against One For All, him being able to punch All For One, and All For One actually getting worried and actually wanting his superpower, is actually pretty dope. That means he is on a tier that he's the next level up. Like you have those typical superpowers, and then you have like your extremely good ones, and then you have like your god tier level of there's I'm not doing a very good job describing it. But anyways, it's enough to want all for one, want it, and that puts it up pretty cool where he's just like he can be a hero like Hawk. Like he looks up to Hawk a lot. And I feel like he didn't at first, and then he learned his lesson and wanted to grow and show his worth. And if we're being honest, he's a little goth boy, which his attitude matches his exterior of being just like I am one with darkness, and like just being like I could see him being Batman. Like if we're being honest, like I could see him like flying down at night, just dropping in a dark in at like a dark alley, and people are getting beat up, and just when one fell swoop, Dark Shadow and engulfs him, and then he's just punches and then flies away, and you never see who he is. You just know that the bad guys just got beat up by a shadow, fitting Dark Shadow. But I put him at A. Just the one reason is you do see a little like he's in the screen time more. And on top of that, you actually do see a like major development and power increase. Like when he lost Dark Shadow and Midoriya was able to help him find it and like gain control over it and this and that and the other. And now he has a better understanding of Shadow and he's able to control him better and stuff like that. And control it so much so that he's able to literally punch that snotty no face asshole into the ground to the point where the guy is actually worried about it. It's pretty dope. On to the next one. Class or seat number 17, Bakugo. He is I'm torn between the three powerhouses, and that's Bakugo, Midoriya, and Shoto. Bakugo, I think, is my favorite. He has, for me, the biggest development, character development, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know how to call it. But him going from a asshole snotty brat that is winning all the time to what happens at season 7 has earned him S tier for me. And I'm a spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. That's 3. I'm going to count down from 5 and we're going to continue and I'm going to spoil shit from season 7. So if you haven't seen season 7 yet, skip ahead like till you see me put Midoriya up somewhere, okay? This is season 7 spoiler. So if you haven't seen it, skip forward. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You've been warned. When they kill Bakugo, as a grown ass man, I shed a man tear. And because I didn't think they would actually I didn't think none of the kids would get killed off, if we're being honest with each other. Like I thought I would assume that you could see the heroes that are pro die in front of the kids to teach them that like, hey, this shit's real, homie. Like if you don't think if you don't have the know-how, the strength, and you don't have the knowledge to like actually get it going and like actually learn how to do this shit, you're gonna die. So I expected some of the heroes to like die from some dumb mistake that the hero never learned or whatever. Like I was expecting that. But having a student in class 1A die, it was so hard to get through. And it was to the point where when it happened, I was like, I didn't pick up on it. And I was like, oh shit, did they actually get rid? Like, did they actually just kill Bakugo off? Like, Midoriya's rival, like, best frenemies, I guess, at the end? Because, like, they had, like, this. Bakugo had this hatred towards Midoriya at the beginning, and Midoriya only showed love towards Bakugo. And, like, eventually Bakugo figures everything out, this and that and the other, and, like, he gets into the know, and he figures out that Midoriya is going to be basically All Might replace. And, like, everyone knows, like, if you've seen the show and you're watching this, you know how Bakugo and Midoriya both love. Voice crack again. I'm going through puberty. I didn't even say that word right. You know that they both loved All Might at the same time and wanted to see All Might forever. Like, couldn't wait to see All Might and be what he is. Them killing him off after he literally, it seems like he had come to peace with the fact that I may not be the best, but I can be the second best, and I'm going to push myself to be the best to force Midoriya to be that hero that the world needs. And the fact that they killed your boy off at the end of the seat, like, it hurt my heart seeing that. Like, this is the first I've watched a couple animes and TV shows and stuff like that. It actually hurt to see him go down, because like he's the kid that's like, I'm gonna fight you to the end, and then you better watch yourself because I'm gonna get back up and blast you in the face because you pissed me off, and I'm gonna melt your face. And the fact that he went down the way he went down was just like, oh, it hurt. It hurt a lot. He is definitely S tier. He's goated in my mind. Like, prediction on season 8. I have an eerie suspicion that Bakugo will live. I that's me being optimistic and wanting my favorite character to come back. But the fact of the matter is, I think that my hope is he comes back because I want him back. And I think that'll heal Midoriya being able to control himself, and like he gets control somewhat, but like I don't think it's registered yet that Bakugo is gone. I hope he does come back for Midoriya's sake, but I also feel like that's being hopeful. I don't think Bakugo is going to come back. I think the hero that's trying to save him will perish trying to save Bakugo, and Bakugo will just not come back. And that's the unfortunate feeling. I have drugged this. It feels it's heavy. That's heavy. I don't. Whew. All right. Anyways, I need to move on because I could talk about Bakugo a lot. Class seat 18, Izuku Midoriya. Of course, our main character. He's the one that's always talking in his mind. He is gonna go in S tier just because he has All Might's power, and he has the greatest like character arc of becoming who he is in season 7. I personally like the end of season 6. That whole like Deadpool attitude he has is freaking scary, and it's fucking awesome too. But again, he doesn't have all the hero powers unlocked. My one complaint, I think this is the reason why he's like maybe 2 or 3. I don't know. He bounces back and forth between 2 and 1 or 2 and 3. Is the crying, the constant crying. And that's one of my complaints about animes is like I don't understand why the main character cries all the time when it's not necessary. It drives me up the wall. Of like, especially at the end of season 6 and the beginning of season 7 when he's walking back into My Hero Academia with the walls up, and they're trying to convince the citizens to let Midoriya stay, right? Because everyone knows that he has all for one or one for all, and all for one wants to get him, this and that and the other. And to me, he ruins a moment because of the crying. And like, to me, in my eyes, he should have stood there stoically and not like staring them down, but like as a hardened, like, I'm a superhero. I can take whatever burden you have to say to me. I can shoulder it and I can handle it. And on top of that, fight for your lives and know that I will fight till the very end. That's, to me, is what it feels like. That's what it should have been, instead of him being on his knees just constantly boohooing and crying. Because like, if like, his favorite superhero was All Might. All Might should have been like in his mind of like, what would All Might do at this time? Not cry. He would have stood there and like, I am here, and like put his fist up in the air and whatnot. But for whatever reason, he decided to cry. It is what it is. It's just the way Midoriya was made, I guess. But that's my one complaint, and like, it to me, I found it annoying, but funny, and kind of like, I was just kind of like annoyed by it. But that whole like, when his girl is up there up top, Gravity is up there speaking down, and he's just sitting there on his knees crying. Excuse me, gamer noise. And that girl that he saved out in the city, that's like a kangaroo cat thing. I don't know what they're called. I forget, like animorphs basically. Walks up and like kneels down and was like, "Oh, you're the one that saved me," and like patted his back and was like, literally called him a crybaby hero. Crybabies. I literally called him a crybaby hero, and it's like, bro, that has too much ring to it. You better chill out and like cut off the waterworks and chill, because that's gonna be your name. That's gonna be your superhero name if you're not careful. It's Crybaby Hero. But at last, that's my one complaint, and it kind of drawed me out a little bit, was when I was sitting there watching it, because it's like 3 episodes of them trying to convince the citizens to let him stay. And like, of course, they go through everyone's character mind and like all the main people's minds and like their thought process of like what's going on, what could happen, this and that and the other. And the whole time, Midoriya is on his knees crying the whole time. And it's just like, bro, I get it. You're emotional. You're upset that the world has come to this. You're upset that your girl has to stand up there and plea for your life to be able to be in here, blah, 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 blah. But like, bro, you should have just came in, because you already look like an anti-hero. You've already proved yourself that you can handle yourself out there. Like, you should have just walked in, took the mask off, and just stand there and just straight faced it. Just look at them and let everyone else talk for you. But what do? You cry. But that's like my one complaint. I guess that's with animes. Is my one complaint is like, it seems like the main character is always crying. Seat 12, Juro. And your girl is gonna go into seat. Gonna go into class A. She's gonna go with Totoromo. I even said his name wrong again. But she's gonna go there. The reason why is, one, her superhero powers. You see her be able to handle them to the point where she's I don't even know how to call it. It's like she doesn't really have an offense. It's more like a defensive stop that hurts. It's like a defensive move that hurts the enemy at the same time. But she's also able to like be stealthy and like figure out like, hey, this is where they are. This is what movement I hear. Blah 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 blah. And she's able to like literally hold her own, like on the back of Tokoimi. literally sitting on his back with Dark Shadow, and they're both able to handle their own. Like, granted, she gets a particular part chopped off by One for All for One. I'll get it right eventually, I promise. I actually did watch this anime. I just struggle with the names and the fact that the bad guy and the super bad guy, the villain and the hero quirk is literally the same thing, just flipped around. It bugs me. Anyways, she had a pretty good arc of development to me too, like the whole music thing and coming out of her shell and being the person that she wants to be, and is able to show that she can be a leader, and also like she doesn't have to be the little goth girl that she is. And I find it fitting that they're both together. But they make a cute couple actually. But they she but she's able to learn a lot from Midoriya, like everyone in the class, and she's able to like actually become a hero that she wants to be and what is needed at the time. And I feel like that's very important. And I like her. Her attitude is dope. The way she's just like, yeah, I just dig it. On to the next one. Alrighty, we're gonna go with Coda. Seat 9. I don't know why I'm saying the seat number like it matters, but that's what we're doing, apparently. He is going to go and I'm just going to go right off the rip. He's going in A. I'm telling you that now. Like, he's going to go in between them. Because he started out in the show as, like, I would put him probably at C, maybe at the tail of B. But at the end of season 7, where he gets an arch of like redemption, trying to show the Animorphs. That's not what they are, but that's what I'm calling them. Animorphs, like they're animal rock, whatever, to show them that like, hey, these people, the normies, trying to show them that if you do this, you're like them, and we're going to fight you to show you that it's wrong. And like he's able to like develop a stronger connection with heroes during that time, and is able to like fully, I think he went like 100%. Like if we're being honest, like I feel like he actually finally came into his own, and he's able to handle his own very, very, very well. And I like his character kind of his character came around for me, because like I just was like, so you can talk to animals? That's it? And then like you don't really, a bug just literally flew in my face. But you really don't see much from him. Like, yeah, he talks in the background about how he's supporting Midoriya, blah 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 blah, like all the rest of them. But at the fight at the hospital in season 7, he really comes into his own, just like Soji. And we're gonna go move to him. Seat number 11. That's a thing now, apparently. We're gonna stick with it. I don't know why we're sticking with it. We're just gonna do it. Soji is gonna go in tier 7, or tier 7. Good Lord, what am I doing? Tier A. And here's the reason why I say that. He's gonna go up front. He's almost S tier to me. Is because of like Coda. He had strong powers throughout the show, and like again, he kind of figured them out already. But at season 7, when he's at the hospital fighting that crocodile guy, I forget his name. Him going into his background, and him actually like, that was the thing that I loved, was the scene him sitting at the apartments with his class, and he takes his mask off and he talks about the scars and how he thought that he couldn't be like everyone else, and how the class has shown him how wrong he is, and how Like the class, most of the class doesn't pay attention. Like they don't give a shit. Of like, okay, you're who you are. Let's go and let's move on and let's figure this shit out. And we're gonna get there. And I love it. I love it, love it, love it. Oh, press the space button. I don't know how I had it earlier, but anyways, um, I love it. I loved his development in that like 2 or 3 episodes. I love the fact that he is able to in the three episodes or so, however many long it was, is able to show his hardship and how he's overcome it and how he's able to become a leader in his anamorphis, I can't remember what they call them, but in their space, and show them that they are wrong and that most of them do not care. Like when he's saving the girl and the girl like hugs him and like cries the fact that the village beat him and this and that and the other. And he's able to like try to get that out there to show that most of the world doesn't care. That actually was one of the things where I was just like, yes, sir. Yes. And that's the reason why I put him at A, is just like the development of his character, cuz like yeah, he's gotten stronger and he's able to like manipulate his arms to be whatever they need, like a fist or an eyeball or an ear or whatever. But when he's actually faced with people of his self, he gets outraged and he wants the world to change for the better, and I think he's going to be that change that needs. He's going to be a leader in that change. So yeah, that's the reason why I put him at A, and he's close to S to me. On to the next one. All right, Feat 2, Acido. I'm gonna put her at B next to her lover. I'm just kidding. It's not her lover. It's his. It's her wannabe boyfriend, or he wants to be her boyfriend. I think. Like she has no interest. I don't think, but I could be wrong. I don't think I don't think she'd fall for him, if I'm being honest with you. Anyways, this is girl talk. This is not girl talk. This is tier list talk. We don't talk about girly stuff on this show. We don't talk about relationships. It's just manly stuff like blowing stuff up on video games and rating anime characters. Rating. Like we like doing all that stuff. Anyways, Acido, I put her at B tier because again, she's like a secondary or secondary character. Like we see her develop. Like she starts out being able to like throw acid, and that's about it. And then we're able to see her like slide on her acid, and then we're able to see her like shield herself in acid and like able to do stuff with it. And then, she's able to like she's a badass dancer apparently and whatnot, but like we don't get to see. I don't remember seeing her like her talk about her background. If so, it was like a 5 minute little clip that I literally watched the show once, like all the way through, so I don't know. But anyways, that's where I'm gonna put her, because like she she really didn't do much. She was back there. She was definitely like the supporters and whatnot. And I like her as a character, but because she's always positive. But again, she's in the background, which kind of sucks. But that's how I feel. Write in the comments where you would put her. On to the next one. All right, we're on. We're gonna move on to class seat 6. On to the seat number 6. Osido. I totally mispronounced his name. His last name, at least. I can't even pronounce his first name. I call him Mr. Kangaroo Man. Just the way his tail is. And I'm going to put him at C, like the rest of them. He is very. Like, he kind of came in already knowing what his powers are. And he just needed to hone it in and be like just build strength and stuff like that, and that would come along as he gets older and stronger and stuff like that. But he's again like in the background. Like we know he fights the kid that can like talk in your brain. Like if you talk to him, he can talk in your brain and tell you to stop doing stuff or like tell you to do stuff. We know that he fought him and it was over very quickly. And it's just one of those things where he didn't do much. He hasn't developed much, and it kind of hurts. Cause like I like all the characters on in Class 1A. It's just again they don't have time for everyone, and it seems like he was one of the ones where they were like, he has a strong tail. What's his background? I don't know. All right, let's move on. And it just seems what they did to him. They just kind of moved on from him. And I'm just gonna put him at B because I do like him. He has a positive attitude. He does get stronger. He's a good supporting character. He's able to do supporting hero stuff. I think he'll be a good support hero when he's like a pro, like when he's actually graduated and he's being a pro. He'll be a pro hero, or he'll be a secondary pro hero. That's even I don't. There are pro heroes that are like sidekicks, I guess. But that's what I feel. I feel like that's what will end up happening. But he again kind of just slipped through. I'm gonna put him at C. I'm gonna put him above him though. Yeah, that seems more appropriate. All right, we're gonna talk about seat 10, Sato, and I'm gonna put him at B. And this is the reason why I'm gonna put him at B. Is just like the rest of them at B. He really doesn't like. We see him grow stronger, and I'm assuming he can last longer with his sugar. We really don't know much about him other than what the cards at the beginning of like the announcer says of like he can put he drinks a lot of sugar and he becomes a raging muscle head, and that's like this seems to be it. And then like he's exhausted afterwards. And if I'm gonna be honest with you, I kind of am jealous of him as a fat man. I wish I could just like drink a bunch of soda or something and just like rage out and like get bulky and then go back to being a normal size human being. That said, he is still huge to me. He's swole, but we don't really know much about his background and stuff like that. So he's a good side character, sidekick to the rest of the ones that are A and S tier. So it is what it is. All right, we're gonna go to class seat 20, vice representative of the class, Miss Momo. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna put her at A, and because it's her development. She comes into her leadership role. She expects to be the best, but she's humbled when she figures out she's not the best, and like her family got her in on a recommendation and this and that and the other. And she figures out very quickly she's gonna have to actually work on her superhero stuff to be the best, because if she wants to keep up with the rest of the class, she's gonna have to actually like become who she wants to be. And like Shoto is able to push her to become a leader at one point. Like she immediately like backed off and wanted him to make the plan. And when he was like, okay, gun hold, and like failed against a racer, Momo immediately was forced into the role of like coming up with an idea, and she was able to like be who she needs to be at the time of everything, right? And I dig the development, and like she's definitely a supporting character, but she can also be a great offensive. Like if she has time to plan, you're not gonna get to her because like she if you put her up in a building and you need her to defend herself, she's gonna figure out a way. She's gonna play chess with you. She's gonna have a bunch of booby traps and whatnot and gadgets ready to go to make sure that you don't get to her. And if you do get to her, the room is probably set to explode and you're both gonna die. Like you're just that's the way it is. That's just the way it's gonna be. My one problem with her is I get it. She is a strong, independent woman, girl, and she made her outfit for whatever reason that way, and it bugged the living crap out of me that she made it that way. If I was her dad, I'd have been like, no, like absolutely not. Like figure out how to like you could have done a different design on her outfit of her superhero outfit. That's not Miss Midnight. Like Miss Midnight, she's a grown ass adult. Yeah, she can have that outfit. But as a she's trying to be understanding, I guess. But as a 16-year-old girl, you don't need to be dressing like that. And I get it, it's an anime, it's just a girl. But there's one particular kid in this class that I'm surprised didn't gawk at her. I'm surprised he was able to like actually fight near her and him not get distracted. And y'all know who I'm talking about if you watched the show. Like I was I'm trying to be a grown up. The way they dressed her, I did not appreciate. Did not appreciate, but I just did not like. Cuz they literally could have done like a skin tight outfit, like spandex with the belly cut out, like a perfect hole. And you never had to show any boobs, nothing. Like the rest of the superheroes on this tier list is there's nothing sexual about them except for Momo, and I don't understand it. I don't understand it was the fact that like, oh well, we have to attract the guys somehow, and for me it was like she's the only one with the impractical outfit because like no one wants. I'm sorry, but no one wants to go into a battle with the most important spot being exposed. Like would as a man, would you want to go into battle and know that you're going to get your shit rocked if you had to walk out there with two strips of leather going down the side of your heart, on either side of your heart, down to like your belt and like clip on there and walk out? Would you not want your heart to be protected when you go into battle? Like, or are you kidding me? And like, I guess that's my one. I guess that's what my one complaint is with Momo is like her outfit choice. And on top of that, what the hell is that thing on the back of her butt? It's like a little shelf thing, and I could never figure out what it's for because she never really. I don't think she ever uses it. I don't know because I really like when she doesn't get much screen time. I wonder why. I guess she gets some screen time, but anyways, it was just one of those things where like every time she popped on the screen, like fighting, I was just like, okay, yeah, it's an anime. I get it, whatever. That was my one complaint. I'm just not a weeb that falls in love with girl draw boobs, I guess. I don't know. I just found it weird. And on top of that, like if you sexualize these people, they are high schoolers. So just remember that, you perverts. And if you're in high school, I guess it's fine. I guess you're their age. But still, I found it weird as a grown-ass adult that a girl chose that outfit to run into battle with. And I guess I get the other part too is like she needs it's coming from her skin. It's not going to be able to go like out. Like if she started making a cannon and her shirt's covered, it's just going to be, it's going to go through the shirt and rip the shirt because it's coming out of her skin. I get it. But I'm sure there would have been a better warrior looking outfit for her to wear other than half her boobs hanging out and half her stomach hanging out. Like again, like I said, I get it on both sides, but I'm on the side of why did you dress the 16-year-old like that? Anyways, we're moving on. I don't want to talk about her anymore. I do like her as a character. I do like her as a person. I like her as like her personality and her. I like who she is. Don't like the outfit, and it bugged the shit out of me as a grown ass man. On to Shoto, which is my third favorite or second favorite, depending on Crybaby Hero, if he's crying or not. This is turning into a bitch fest. Let's move on. We're gonna move on to Shoto. I'm gonna put him at S tier. That's just the way it's gonna be. He to me has the biggest, other than Midoriya, he has the biggest character development in the show to me. Because he went from like hating his father, hating his family, despising his let me rephrase that. Doesn't like his family, doesn't like who he is, despises his dad for what he's done to him and what he's done, like what his father has done for his family, to like divide them and stuff like that, to literally going to Endeavor while Endeavor is crying and sticking his hand out going, "We will fix this, dad." Saying dad to the person, like to him, is strong, because as a person that grew up without a dad, you don't say dad unless you mean it. Like that's the way it is. You do not tell another grown ass man dad unless one, they are your dad, or they have proven to you to be your dad character. Plain and simple. Like, I don't call anyone dad except for one dude, and he has had to work for that for 10 years. 15. Yeah, like 15, 14 years. And I just started calling him dad 5 years ago. It took I as a dude that grew up without a dad, that dad saying is hard. If you grew up with a dad that was good to you, you know you say it a lot and it means nothing to you. But when you grow up with a dad that's a piece of shit and is or not there, and then you find one, or your dad redeems himself like Endeavor is trying to, and you actually come around to the point where you call him dad, it's powerful. And that's what Shoto did for Endeavor, was like show Endeavor that we're going to fix your fuck up and we're going to get through this as a family and we're going to be better for it. Can you tell that I have baggage? But I think that's one of the reasons why Shoto is so important to me, is because like I saw the anger and I saw the I'm getting emotional for some reason. I saw the anger and the bitterness and the hatred that he had towards his dad, and being able to have someone like Midoriya, who we assume is the same, like he doesn't have a dad. We don't see his dad in the picture. It's just his mom. And you see him come to Shoto and say, "You're not your dad. Those powers are not. You're holding yourself back from being the best that you want to be, that you say you want to be, because of this dude. Don't let Endeavor hold you back. Those powers are yours, and you are going to become so much better than him by using your gifts. Like you have fire. You know how many other people have fire? It's not just Endeavor that has fire. There's a bunch of other people that have fire. And that's one of the reasons why I think he is able to, like, Midoriya is able to bring, I think that's one what am I trying to say? I feel like Midoriya, Shoto would have jumped in front of a bullet from Midoriya because Midoriya showed Shoto how much like what it like means a lot to him. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm struggling with the words that I'm trying to get across, but Shoto and his family and Endeavor and Dobby being his older brother and everything shows how much Shoto was struggling and didn't know it, and how much when you just basically throw your problems and like channel your problems to a greater cause, how much stronger you can get and how far you can go. And him fighting Dobby to me was one of the best fights, if not the best fight that we saw on My Hero Academia. Yeah, All Might fighting one or All for One was okay and it was powerful, but for me, him and Dobby fighting was like, and being able to see him try to save his brother and seeing him get so powerful so quickly to like dampen the heat. This, like, you know what I'm going for. It's just, it was so good. And of course it meant nothing. If you've seen season 7, you know what I mean. Like, it doesn't matter. But yeah, that whole arc, and then on top of that, he is very powerful. Like, there's no denying that he has like S tier level powers when it comes to ice. I think he's almost there with his fire. I would say his ice is definitely stronger than his fire, but I think with him being able to do that little like ice fire thing that he has on his chest that makes like a little X across his chest, I think he's able to bring it more into a balance. But I don't know if that's him weakening his ice to match his fire to be able to like hone them into a balance to create it, or if he's actually developed his fire to the point where it's at the same level as his ice. But that's for you to judge. And I'm actually curious, who is your favorite? Because like the top 3 are basically your boys. Those are your 3 boys on the that's just those are your guys. You know what I'm saying? Like those seem to be the main characters. And then of course like All Might and stuff like that. But it always seems to be those 3 are the ones where they're never on a team together during school. They're always separated. I think at one time it was Shoto and Midoriya were together. I think. But Bakugo and Midoriya, I don't think we're ever together. I don't think. I can't remember. But anyways, I really want to know who your guys' favorite character is. I got kind of emotional and upset, I guess, when I talked about Shoto, and I think it's just because I see the whole father issue that he had in me. I see the parallel. And talking about it just now kind of dawned on me. That's probably why I like him so much. But again, it is what it is. We're going to go on and go to Seat 5 Ochako. And that's Gravity. That's your boy Midoriya's girl. And we all know that they make a cute ass couple. And they're probably going to end up together. Because Midoriya is stupid if he doesn't know Gravity likes her. Or doesn't like him. And I'm pretty sure Midoriya's been able to keep it hidden other than a couple times, but he hasn't really shown any interest in girls other than just he wants to get stronger. Which, granted, your boy's driven. doesn't have time for the tail, you know? So he's very career driven and wants to be the best who he is. But there are times where he gets like that little like anime like blush thing across, but she always has it. I mean, even in this picture she has it, I think. Or no, she's that's just happy. It's not that red bar across the eyes, underneath the eyes. But we're gonna put her at A. And I'm gonna put her right here because that's where she belongs. She's almost S tier, but she's not really. Because if you think about it, she was able to pick like shit up that was like 300 pounds, her weight or whatever. By the end of it, she's literally able to pick up a whole big ass army and everybody else when she was trying to save that one chick that likes to eat blood and change into the person. And that's another reason why I have her at A at the very front is because of her wanting to help that girl. Like the one of the supervillains, she wanted to help, and it's not always about fighting to save someone. Sometimes it's okay to just listen and tell them it's okay. It's going to be okay. You're not crazy. You're not a bad guy. What you're doing is bad, but you're not bad. And I, as a person, can help you fix it. And reaching out an arm, I'm telling you, you're not crazy. You can stab me, but I'm going to keep coming at you and telling you and showing you love. And I think that's why Gravity is so loved. We're almost done. We've only got 5, 6 more. I'm still talking about Gravity. But her character art is she has gotten stupid strong on with her superpowers to the point where she's able to pick up armies, and on top of that, when she's actually dying, actively dying, she's able to drop all the goop and villains down, and all of the superheroes, the pro heroes are able to drift down and like just land. Like she literally protected as many people as possible, even in basically her dying last minutes, and that is incredible. The fact of the selflessness, she's selfless of thinking of others right before she dies is what actually makes a good hero. And I think she's proved that. And, she wants everyone to be happy. She wants everyone to succeed. And I think that's what makes her a good superhero. On to the next one. We're going to go to class seat 4, the class representative, your boy Ida. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna put him at S tier because his engine upgrades and all that stuff, and where he's able to fly faster than a fighter jet, this and that and the other, that is dope. Like we have superhero arc there. I really there for a second I thought we were going to have him become a super villain because of what happened to his brother, and that had me worried. Not gonna lie, but of course, Midoriya, Shoto, Gravity, and I can't remember who the other one was. Showed him like, hey, bro, I know for a fact it was Midoriya and Shoto that went to fight Shredder. I think it was that guy. Show him like, hey, we got your back, dude. You no need to act like that, this and that and the other. We're going to get you where you belong. We're going to get you right. And you don't need to do this by yourself. Blah, 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 blah. The same repetitiveness. But what puts him at S tier for me is one, he's a great leader. He will be an awesome pro hero, and he's not going to be some sidekick. He's going to be like, I could see him being the top 10 easily. I don't know about like the top 3, but top 10 easily. And he'll be a good leader. He has a good head on his shoulder. He'll be able to succeed in whatever he puts himself into. And he's also one of those leaders when he knows to be a leader, but he also knows when to switch to become a follower. And I think that is important when it comes to being the a human being. I'm going to say that. Cuz like you can be a leader all the time, but like if you step into an element that you know nothing about, you need to be okay being a follower. And not a lot of people can handle being following directions and following what is being told to you and following going with wherever is needed and being okay with that. You may not be the one that brings down the bad holy crap brings down the bad guy or whatever, and he's okay with that. He knows that if he does his support character turns into a support character and goes helps fight this one bad guy and then turns around. My voice keeps breaking. Fights this one bad guy and turns around and goes saves a bunch of people. He knows that when he comes back, his fellow classmates, the pro heroes, have taken care of that guy, and he can move on to doing some more support and checking in to see if he needs to take the lead, to see if whatever happens, he can blah 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 blah. And on top of that, he's super smart. He's able to like analyze stuff while running super fast and stuff like that. I dig him. And on top of that, that one saying we're gonna go trolling for hot girls is super funny, especially coming from him. But yeah, that's why I put him at S tier. It's just like he's going to be a fantastic pro hero leader. Whatever he can be like a politician, and I think people will follow. All right, we're gonna move on to Mineta, which is I call him Ball Boy or Mr. Pervert himself. We're gonna put him at C tier because he is a scrawny little whiny person, and then on top of that, I get annoyed by him. This is the one thing I will give him. The one of the funniest moments for me was they were doing some sort of scene. They were at the hotel or the apartments, and it was the whole class was talking, and Shoto walked out, and he's wearing like pajama bottoms and it has no shirt on, and he's like drying his hair with a towel, and Minato turns to one of the characters, one of the three goons, and was like, "Why does he have to come out here talking like that and looking like that?" And it was just like a typical like, "Oh, I'm so good," and like the whole scene. If you look in the background, Mamenta is literally following him and has the like cool guy face. And there's one part where Shoto is going into a dialogue and you see Memento is like slides into the background and like he puts his foot on a ball and he puts his hands in his pocket and like leans back and like does the whole cool guy look trying to copy him is so funny. That was to me that whole scene is just like the show is very aware of itself and they have to have a class clown. And apparently the pervert is the class clown. Um I again like he doesn't get much screen time. I'm putting him at C tier just because of like he's constantly just hounding for the girls and it's just annoying. Like we get it. You know, if we were all in a high school and everyone was pro athletes, we'd probably all gawk too. But again, we're not. So like we get it. We understand. And that's one of the things I find annoying. But anyways, I'm just gonna put him there because of the funny that every time I see him I think of that scene. I just laugh because it's so the anime is so aware of itself, and I like it. On to class seat 16. We're gonna go to Turo, the Miss Invisible herself. I'm gonna put her at C also. I'm gonna put her above the pervert. I'm gonna put her right here actually. I'm gonna put her right up front, right up on Front Street. What up? Again, she sounds kind of obvious to say that she blends into the background half the time. If it wasn't for her outfit and her gloves during battles, you wouldn't know she's there, and she really doesn't have any like badass moments in battles other than like showing an upgrade that she can shimmer or whatever. I will say the one cool scene that I do remember, and I kind of wish that they focused more on it, was she got so mad at Yuga or whatever his name is, the French guy, the French kid, that like her shimmer or something came off and you actually saw her face and you actually saw who she was at that moment. I could be wrong, but like that looked like at the moment she was just so, I couldn't tell if it was like heartbroken or mad, but like she actually, I don't know what happened. Like they never explained it, but like she got so emotional that like she lost her invisibleness. And I found that weird that no, like we literally got, I think it was like a half of a second where you see her like her face kind of like show up and then go away, and it never happens again. At least for me, that was the one moment that I remember, and it was just, I was like, what? And I went back and watched it again. I was like, oh my goodness. I'll put it up on screen. I'll show you. It's right here. But yeah, that was one of the things that just blew my mind when that popped up. I was like, oh boy. Yeah. I can't believe we saw that and no one on the show, like it happened in front of Midoriya and Midoriya didn't say anything. The fact that it happened is just mind blowing, and on top of that, Midoriya being so analytic, he didn't either. One, he didn't catch it because he was focused on Yuga, or two, he just didn't know how to process it. But anyways, I'm gonna put her at C because she really didn't have any playtime, which sucks. All right, we're gonna go to Class C. We're gonna go Sue. We're gonna put her at B tier. Well, we're gonna put her all the way up here because I like Sue. Sue is dope and has no problem smacking Memento in the fucking balls if he needs it. But other than that, we're also going to talk about how the fact that she is a very good support character. Like she's going to make a good sidekick. She's going to be able to, I think, especially if it. Let me rephrase that. If we're outside of water, she's going to be a good sidekick. If she's in water, she's going to be a dope ass pro hero. Because she's learned a lot from Midoriya, Shoto, Gravity. All of them, they have showed Sue love and care and been able to like treat her like a normal girl that she deserves, and is able to hone in her talents and figure out her weaknesses and try to like counteract them and stuff. So I see her being a good sidekick on land, a badass pro on water, which I hope that's where she goes because I want to see her thrive after season 8. I hope nothing happens to her in season 8. She's another one of those characters where like I adore, like I wouldn't mind having her as like a little sister and stuff like that. She'd be cool to have as a little sister. But she definitely. Where am I going with this? Like I don't know. My brain is fired. It's shot. It's oozing out of my ears and it's cupping into my headphones. But Sue is going at the top of B because she is dope and I like who she is. And I like the fact that she has gotten stronger over the seasons. And she's able to, I think she's more aware of what's going on in the class than what the class gives her. Like, she's able to pick up on stuff without being told. Of like, she jumped through the portal. Like, I don't think you saw her jump through the portal when Gravity went into the portal after the one villain chick. And then all of a sudden, boom, she's there. Or the fact of like when Gravity's fighting the same villain in that like rusty looking building, Sue immediately picked up on the fact that gravity's not back yet. I need to go find gravity because this is not right. Like it takes us like almost like a sixth sense to like pick up on that type of like small little detail, and I don't think a lot of the class appreciates the protectiveness that Sue has over her class. Because like I even remember like one of the supervillains called her Sue, and she's like, "You can't call me Sue. My class calls me Sue. That's my family. Like only friends and family call me Sue, and you're not that. So do not call me that." And I can appreciate that. On to the one that sucks the most. We're gonna go to Uga. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Um, I have some issues with him. Obviously, I think everyone does. Uga is gonna go in D tier. Just plain and simple. We know. To me, he is the only character to me that did not grow at all. I wouldn't say grow at all. He grew some, but not for the right reasons. I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce. I don't know how to word it correctly, but I feel like he is the one that kind of stagnated. That's the word. Stagnated. Like, yeah, he's able to hold his laser, I guess, longer or whatever. But like he's the same. Like to me, I feel like he's the same. And now we know why at the end of season 7. We know why he's the same. Like he hid in all the battles. He was never fighting in any of the battles. When he was in the training sessions, he was kind of useless. Like the one time that came in handy was he wanted to sacrifice himself to be like Midoriya, and the dog just went out the door, scared the poo out of me. But again, like he wanted to sacrifice himself during the training to save his classmates, to be like Midoriya, and he shoots the naval laser up in the sky to attract people, and his class knows it's him, so they run in and like defeat everybody. Blah 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 blah. He gets rescued. And of course, at the end of season 7, like he gets rescued by Midoriya, and shows that he's actually a good guy, this and that and the other. But yeah, a lot of bad things happen because of Yuga. I don't know how to pronounce his name, and I don't know. I'm just putting him at D because of him end up being a villain at the end, but wants to be redeemed at the beginning. Like, and to be honest with you, I forgot within about 2 seasons that there was a traitor they were looking for at the school. I literally forgot all about it. Until what's the guy with the voice box teacher? I can't remember his name. He's always the announcer. I'm just gonna call him the announcer. I suck at names, guys. I'm sorry. Just don't write mean things in the comment about me not knowing names. But him going, I knew that we were always looking for a mole. I just would never expect it to be a student. Well, I was like, oh shit, that's right. We were looking for someone. Well, we found it. Ended up being punk ass seat 1 Uga, or whatever his name is. That's what I'm gonna call him now, Uga. And it just sucks because he had some. He was kind of funny, I guess. Like he really, like, again, he didn't really bring anything to the table other than wee or some other French lines that was in English. But anyways, that is the tier list. I don't know how anyone else feels. My brain hurts thinking that hard because I had to literally play the whole show back in my mind for each character, like scrub through the whole show in my brain. And my voice keeps cracking. Maybe I'm 16 again, and my voice is going to become mature eventually, hopefully one day. I don't know if it's just because of all the talking I've done. And stuff like that. But what would you change? Is this a good tier list? Do you guys agree with this tier list? I'm kind of wanting to add like an A plus and like a B plus here to like shuffle some of these characters and maybe Ida down to like an A plus. But I feel like he deserves an S tier, like be along with these guys. These three, I think, are the ones that everyone's going. I would think everyone agrees with that are S tier because these three have the strongest presence and they're the ones to me that has the strongest character development. But it also is kind of convenient that they're my three favorite. I still there's a Bakugo statue that I'm looking at that's on Crunchyroll. I want, but I have no place to put it. I don't have a studio. Like I'm in a garage. Where am I going to put it? But anyways, I I'm okay with this tier list. I don't know. Like, let me know in the comments down below. Do I start a new tier list with the superheroes by themselves? Because I want to do superheroes. I want to do pro heroes like Endeavor, All Might, uh, Miss Midnight, the Giant Lady. I can't remember her name. The dog just will not learn how to stay in or out. Like the dog lady or the Giant Lady, not the dog lady. The rabbit chick she was cool. Um, and, like Best Jeanist, um, Eraserhead. I can't remember any of the other ones. And then like some of the other characters. Like where would you put the other characters at? Because they end up showing up at season 7. Like some of the students from another school shows up. And then there's also that whole fight between Class 1A and Class 1B on the battlegrounds. Those were cool. I don't know if they all deserve their own tier list. Maybe Class 1 or Class 1B can go part of this tier list. I don't know. Let me know in the comments below if they each deserve one, and then maybe we can do like a live stream where we all as a community come together and we bring the ultimate tier list together of like we'll do like an S uh we'll do like an S plus, an S, an A plus, an A, like do that. And I'll go through and find every single character in the My Hero Academia universe and we'll go through as a community and knock it all out. So we'll have the ultimate tier list going for us. But again, like I said, what would you change? Like does Momo deserve to be a B list? I don't know. I think she deserves to be A cuz I like who she is. Again, we've had a long ass discussion about the outfit. Or does Uga does he actually deserve to be C and Pervert Boy deserve to be D? I don't know. You let me know down in the comments down below what you would change and how. Like, I think I'm gonna do the pro heroes next because that's the next most abundant selection of characters. And let me know. I'm curious on starting a debate. I'm not gonna argue. I'm not gonna change my list. My list is final. This is what it's gonna look like. This is the final list. So, again, let me know down in the comments below what you would change. Who's your favorite character? I'm still gonna say Bakugo. Then I think Crybaby Hero Midoriya, and then Shoto. I think that's the way I'm gonna go. And then Ida. Yeah, those are my 4. Who would be my 5th? Anyways, this episode is rambling on long enough. We've literally been talking before edit. It's an hour and a half long, so it could end up being an hour long. I don't know. I don't know how much is getting cut, but for editing purposes, this is an hour and a half long at 1 o'clock at night. So I am tired, and I want sleep because I've got church in the morning, and it's time to go to bed. And I don't know how to close this other than love you. Thank you for watching. Very, very, very much thank you for watching. Gamer noises before you leave. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. The YouTube shit. And I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.